Good afternoon to you all. As requested by many, I have kept the videos whichever were recorded on my system on the YouTube channel. But what happened is, in the earlier cases, also uploading that particular channel's username and password, somehow I lost it. So I'm not able to recollect that particular channel. So for that reason, I created a new channel and I have posted all the videos, whatever I was having, onto that particular YouTube link, which I have posted in the WhatsApp group. So please go through that particular channel, and in that one, the videos have been posted with the titles that were pre-recorded by the WebEx. So what I want to do is now put it according to what titles they belong to. So it will take 1 or 2 days time. Please wait till that particular time, or else you can go through those videos and just learn from them. जी मैडम जी अच्छा अच्छा जी 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 अच्छा 241 अच्छा ठीक है मैम ठीक है मैम So in the morning session, we were having a very good session running up, and in that we had a look on how to execute the programs, and we had a clarity about some of the aspects about what is method overloading and what is method overriding, right? There is a comment, sir, could not find or load main class. This issue is coming while executing Java program after successful installation of JDK and JRE. This is because the class path has not been properly set. You may have forgotten to mention the semicolon after the rt.jar. Uh, just now I have received a list of those candidates who have not paid fees for your examinations and may be eliminated, will not be allowed for writing the exam. And from 18th batch, there is one candidate, Rohit Nizampet, 18054 CP Rohit 240, pin number 240, 240. If you are there in the class, please respond back. Rohit. Rohit, are you there? He is not there. Who is second shift CR? Sai Pawan. Pawan, are you there? Sai Pawan, are you there? best friend for this Rohit? Can anyone mention his phone number to me? Rohit phone number? No one has Rohit phone number with them? I'm not getting any responses. Okay, thank you. Pawan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
This Rohit has not paid the fees. Rohit Nizampet.
Sir, he said he has paid the fees, sir.
I have received the list, ma. Yesterday I have told you specifically.
Yes, sir. I have called him. Then he said that he has paid the fees. Once I'll ask him, sir.
Is he having the receipt?
I don't know, sir. I'll ask him.
And why he has not joined the class?
Don't know, sir.
Send his phone number to me.
Yes, sir. 1 minute.
Hello. Where are you? What you got? Why? Okay. Okay. Uh, okay, fine, man. But do one thing. You have paid the fees or not? Exam fees? No, it has not yet been received here, ma. It is showing that you have not registered, and I'm afraid that you will not be allowed to write the exams. So quickly pay the fees and send the receipt back again. Once contact Sunita madam. Once contact Sunita madam. Okay, I will send her number. Okay. Uh, Give my reference, then only she will accept it. Maybe, depending on the college. I'll I will let her know. She will be identifying you. Okay. Okay. Do it at the earliest. Don't delay it. Okay. Okay, ma'am. चलो bye. मैडम एक बच्चा है रोहित बोल के 240 वो बच्चे हाँ वो बच्चा है सो नवंबर में पेमेंट करा बोल के बोल रहा लेकिन उसको कोई वापस एक्नॉलेजमेंट नहीं आया तो वो बच्चे को अब क्या करने का है आप थोड़ा सा उसको गाइड करते क्या अभी नहीं है नहीं है मैं आपको उसका नंबर दूं या फिर उससे आपको कॉल कराऊं अच्छा ठीक है मैडम मैं अभी बोल देता हूँ आपका नंबर शेयर कर देता हूँ आप एक बार प्लीज उसको गाइड करके पेमेंट हो गया ऐसा देख लीजिए ना ओके मैडम बाकी की मैं भी कॉल कर रहा हूँ मैडम वो लोग को कॉल करके मैं इन्फॉर्म कर कुछ लास्ट डेट है क्या मैडम इसमें हो गया वही अच्छा अच्छा ये इन्फॉर्मेशन मेरे को थोड़ा पहले रहता हो जाता था ये लोगों को अच्छा ठीक है मैडम मैं ये लोग से अभी बात करता हूँ 17 बैच वालों से भी बात करके मैं आपको बोल देता हूँ ये लोग पेमेंट कर सकते हैं अभी या फिर ये लोग का कैंसिल ही है एग्जाम अच्छा फाइन कितना है मैडम अच्छा ठीक है मैडम मैं बोल देता हूँ ठीक है मैडम मैं पूछता हूँ लेकिन लिखने तो दे सकते हैं ना बच्चों को एग्जाम अच्छा ठीक है मैडम मैं अभी बोल देता हूँ शुक्रिया मैडम थैंक यू give me 2-3 minutes more ma I'll be finalizing that particular thing because okay okay Ravi Kishore congratulations just give me 2-3 minutes I'll be messaging for some of the other members who are there in the list and making sure that they are not losing the exam Okay, fine. So let us continue further with our class. So in the morning session, we were talking about the differences between the method overloading and method overriding. Method overloading is a concept which involves only and only one class. So in that class, you are going to have multiple methods which are going to have the same name, as in our example add. But the concept is that since the name is same in the same class, the parameter list should change so that the compiler can distinguish between them. But in case of overriding, the concept is you will have a superclass, and that superclass will be inherited through extends keyword into a subclass. And whatever function is there in the superclass, it is overridden into this subclass. So the exact name with the exact parameter list and the return type should be mentioned in the subclass also. So what is the advantages in both of them? Here in case of our overloading, the advantage is that with the same name, we can have a clarity that both the functions are going to perform the same task. Okay. In case of overriding, you have one function which is already written and it is performing something, and you want some more additions to be done to it. You want already existing data as well as some more to be done. For that reason, you will create a subclass and you will attach whatever extra you want to have in that case, or changes that you want to have in that particular function. Okay, so these were the two advantages with their examples. One, a realistic example considering the coordinate points. I have kept here one program which is composed till here. If you are interested, please go through it. So these 4 slides, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 slides are pertaining to those examples only. If you are interested, go through these example programs. They may give you more knowledge, okay? But it is not compulsory. So let us move for the next topic, which is Java strings. Java string is considered as a literal. Java considers string as a literal object. Okay, anything which is written within the double quotes is considered as a string. Anything which is written in double quotes is considered as a string. Basically, that string is built up of alphabets. Okay, ABCD alphabets. So a string can be considered as a character array also. But the thing that differs between a character array and a string is that in case of character array, there will not be any last element called as null character. But in case of string, there will be a last character attached to the end of our given word or given sentence called as null character. That null character is \0. That null character is \0. Do remember this Java, whatever string Java I have written here is very similar, can be converted or considered as a character array with J as the first character, A as the second character, V as the third character, A as the fourth character, and there will be one more fifth character attached to it automatically called as null character, and that value will be \0. Okay, so that is the only difference between a character array and a string. So string is considered as an object in case of our Java. So whenever we want to create a new string, you can create it with a keyword new. And you can specify, for example, this is a character array for us. CH is a character array. Now from this character array, I want the Java compiler to automatically build a string. String in the sense, at the end, it should attach a \0 so that it can be easily identified that it is one single entity. So if you wanted to create a string of the given character array, then you can specify that character array in the string constructor at the time of creation of the object S2. Similarly, if you don't want character array to be specified, you want explicitly the word itself to be specified, then also you can create it by passing it into a constructor, string constructor. There are basically three ways of creating it. S1 is directly creating it at the time of initialization itself. S2 is creating a character array first and then converting it into its corresponding string format. In case of S3, within the constructor, we are typing what is to be converted into string format. All are equivalent to each other. My suggestion is go with the simple one. Take the first way of creation. S1 is good. First line, which was a string S1 equal to Java. This is one of the smallest and easiest way of creation of strings. Okay, but once you create a string, it will become an object in case of our Java memory. So this should be very carefully learned. Okay, there are three ways. Out of the three ways, the first one is the easiest, and I suggest you to adopt first method. Though you can go for remaining methods also, it's your wish. So string is basically an object that represents a sequence of character values. Array of character works same as Java strings, but in addition to that, it will have a \0 attached to it. Okay. For example, this is a character array, and now with this character array, you can create a string. Now, what is the benefit of having it as an object? In case of C++, we used to C and C++, whenever we wanted to have a string, we used to create a character array and insert \0 from our side. But here it is not needed. It will be done automatically. In addition to that, this string, if it is considered as an object, will have a lot of inbuilt functions which we can use to work with. Okay, so here is how do we create. I have written three ways back again here. There is the fourth way also, which is called as concatenation way. This concatenation way is, for example, if you have two already existing strings and you want to create another string out of them, then you can use the plus symbol and create a str4 as a string. Okay, either you can specify the string objects over here, or you can specify the values of the string directly here. But in either of the four ways, you can create the string object and you can work around with it. I suggest the first one, which is the easiest. Just a minute, man. So when we say that a string is an object, what I mean exactly is, whenever we create this string, it becomes a literal, means something whose value will not change, a memory location whose value will never change. Okay. Again calls. Hello. Rohit, I have not sent you the number. Oh, sorry, I forgot it. I will send it. I will send it after the class. Please remind me. Okay. Right now, class is going on. I will send it later. Okay, Machalo, bye. So what I exactly mean by literal is, suppose I created a string str with a value of hello. Now this hello will be saved inside some memory. That memory is called as heap memory. And whatever name we are giving for the object, that will get associated with that memory location. Okay. Now suppose I am trying to create one more string, s2, and I am trying to put the value of str, which we have created already, back into str2. What will happen is, usually in normal programming, str2 will have its own memory location and it will have its own hello written here. So if I change str, it will not change str2's value. Normally it will happen like that. But in case of Java, string is considered as a literal. Literal in the sense, the fixed memory location will be used. It will not change any, it will not be creating one new memory location. So for example, if I create a string in this way, by utilizing the already existing string value, what it will do is, it will make the str2 to point to the same memory location which was already created for str. Thereby, what Java thinks is, why to create one more hello and waste the memory? We are at the end writing hello there. Both str and str2 are being equivalent here. One is being assigned to the other. So anyway, both will contain the hello same value. Why to create one new memory location? Why to waste the memory? Try to conserve it. If we try to reduce the size of memory, our program will work very fast. So that is the concept behind going for string as a literal in case of our Java. So do remember, when you have an already existing string, and if you're trying to assign it to a new string, memory will not be allocated for that particular new variable. Only the name will get associated with already existing string which was existing in the memory heap. Okay. So this is again a very important competitive exam question. You have to concentrate on this point. Okay. Now, there are various operations that are to be performed onto strings, and we'll be learning them one after the other. The first one, which is very useful type of operation, is concatenation operation. This concatenation operation can be performed either by using the concat as a function or by using a plus symbol. We have two ways now. Either you can use the concat method, which is already defined, predefined method, or you can use a operator, plus operator. Okay. So suppose here we have a s as a string which is hello. There is str which is a Java. Okay. Now I want to create another string str2, and I want to have a merger of these two. I want to have a joining of these two. Then I will write to which I want to join what. I want to join s, whatever is there in the s, and I want to concatenate it with that of whatever is there with the str. So it will become hello Java as one single value. There is another way. Instead of writing the string variable name here, you can directly write whatever is the value inside the string. It will also work in this way also. Second method of making concatenation is by using plus symbol. Either you can write str plus str1, or you can write the values within the str and values within the str1. So it's very simple, plain. You can use either of the two methods. Either you can use the concatenation method, or you can use the plus operator symbol. That's all. Now for comparison, this is a little tricky. The trick is that, observe here, there are three ways of comparisons. One is equals, One is by using the equal to sign, that is equal to comparison operator. Another is compare to function. There are two methods, equals and compare to, and there is one operator as logical comparison operator, equal operator. Okay. Now, what equals function does is it returns true if the string matches, else it returns false. So what does it mean? I'm having s is equal to hell here. I don't have o. S1 is equal to hello, S2 is equal to hello. Now I'm writing S1 dot equals S2. I'm telling the compiler S1 is one string. Is it equals to S2? Since S1 and S2 both are hello, it will return true, right? But if I write S, which is hell, dot equals S1, definitely it will return false. Now using the comparison operator itself. When we use comparison operator, those two object references are checked, whether they refer to the same instance or not. We were talking about this slide, right? These two are referring to the same instance. These two are referring to the same memory instance, same memory value, right? So equal to operator, comparison operator will check whether the given two names are going to refer to the same memory location or not, going to refer to the same instance or not. If they are referring to the same memory location, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Suppose here I have got S1 and S2, both are Java. But I have not used one for creating the other. So I'm not making use of S3 and I'm trying to create new object called as Java. Now I'm trying to check, is S1 equal to S2? Since Java was already created, while initializing it back to S2, compiler will not create one new memory location, it will just create a reference to that particular already existing memory location, already existing object. But in case of S3, we have used new operator, which creates a new memory location for us. So when I write S1 equal to S3, this becomes false because S1 is a different memory location, S3 is referring to a different memory location. But whereas S2 was trying to be initialized with Java, which was already initialized to S1. So Java compiler will not create one new memory location, it will just point to the already existing Java value, literal value. So I hope this is clear for you people. Now coming on for compare to. Compare to is also easy, it's not very difficult. What it does is it returns an integer value. It doesn't return true or false. It returns an integer value and tells whether the string compared is less than or equal to or greater than the other string. Okay. It tells whether a given string is less than or equal to or greater than another string. Okay. But do remember, this compare to will return an integer value. So I have got here three strings. One is Abhi, second is Viraj, third one is also Abhi, right? So when I'm trying to write S1 dot compare to, S1 dot compare to, is S1 comparatively to S2 less than or equal to or greater than? Is S1 less than S2? Yes or no? What is S1 Abhi? What is S2 Viraj? Check for the individual letters. Is A less than V or not? A in the sense it will be ASCII value 65. V in the sense ASCII value, V's ASCII value which will be somewhat nearby 65 plus 32. Nearby that. So which one is less? A is less. So it will return -1, telling that S1 is lesser. Okay. Now S1 dot compare to S3. Both are same. Abhi and Abhi, A and A. Both numerical values are same. 65, 65. It's equal. B, small b. It's 65 plus 33, 65 plus 33. H, 65 plus some value more than 33, then so on. But both are same. If both are same, it returns 0. S2 dot compare to S1. Since this is more, this is less, it will give 1. S2 is greater. Okay. So these you need to remember. And they are very much important for your competitive exams, like ESET and your other exams. Now, with this string, there is one very good advantage that we can even check at what uh, position a character is present. Means, for example, I have been given a string called as steady tonight. Now I want to check at second position what is the character. If someone asks you, rather than as a human being sitting and checking, you will write one function. You will just apply a predefined function called as character rate, and you will just specify at what position that you want to check what character is there, and you will just display that thing. For example, this particular part of code. Here I am having a string which is study tonight, and I am trying to apply character at 2. str is the object, str dot character at 2. I'm asking the compiler to check that thing, and I'm putting it inside println, so it will get displayed back to the user, right? So u is being displayed. Why u? It is appearing as the third character, right? That's why we say computer is a stupid box. This is a string value, so it is a character array. Character array, any array starts with an index of 0, 0, 1 and 2, correct? So now there is one more function which is equals with ignore case. If you want two strings to be checked whether they are equal or not, and if you don't want to be peculiar about whether the capital letters are being used or not, if in either way, capital or lower, you want to check what is it word, is it equal or not, then you will apply equals ignore case function, equals ignore case function, and it will take a parameter and check whether it is equal to this given string or not. If it is equal, as you can see, both are equal, it returns true. Same way, we have got one more predefined function which is very highly used function called as length. This length was already coming in case of your third unit also, in case of second unit Java also. We have used it a lot. So in that case, I want to have a checking of how many characters are there in this particular part, and I just had to apply string dot length, and it will return back me how many characters are there. Just give me 2 minutes, I will be back again. ठीक है बच्चों. So there may be just 1 minute left out. We'll be quickly going through these functions one after the other and finish up with our class. Next session will be starting quickly after this. So please rejoin back again. So we have got one more function, very important. And if you want to make a change to a character with another character, then you will be making use of a replace function. So you will mention what character is to be replaced and by what it is to be replaced. If you want to generate a substring from already given string, then you will be using a substring. So here you will mention at what character the string should be created, should begin taking that string, and till what position it should be taken. You have two ways. So for example, you have here and you want to say that start at fourth character and whatever is remaining, give it as a new string. In this one, you are telling that start at fourth character and end at the seventh character. So print those many type of, create it as a separate string for us. Then value of, if you have 5 in double quotes or 10.5 in double quotes or something, a numerical value, and you want to get to know what is the exact value in the primitive data types, then you will be using toString, value of function. You will be using value of function. And when you want to convert an object, which is not a predefined one, it is user defined, and you want to print it back to the user, then you will use toString. There are two functions, one is value of, and another is toString. So if you are using a predefined primitive data type and you want to convert it into strings, then you will be using